Welcome back. My name is Randy, and I am a plant daddy. Please welcome my grow mate, Beck. He's
Hello.
becoming a plant daddy.
Yes.
So proud of this guy. Happy birthday, mister!
Thank you.
Cannot believe it. Cannot believe it. That
Of all the days.
my little Becky turned 37 today.
I
dude.
know.
How the hell did that happen?
I know, that was a quick...
And what we noticed,
10
which
years.
is kind of funny, is last week you wore a Superman shirt.
That's right.
And we don't share laundry, but for some reason this
And
is
now your Superman shirt, yeah.
Superman shirt. So anyhow, happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
I'm so
Yeah.
glad you're here with
Yeah.
me, and we're
Sharing
sharing
this
this
with you.
together. So
Exactly.
anyhow, boy, what a show today. Lots and lots of stuff to get covered and such. So we're just going to jump into this. Welcome to another edition of The Grow Show.
you.
All right, guys. So I said last week that I'm going to share the 3 most important tips on plant care that were total game changers for me. But first of all, how is your plant doing? I gave you a ZZ last week. Where's ZZ? How's he doing?
It's doing well.
Okay.
I've been, following your directions.
Okay.
And the one thing you told me last night is make sure that, it has some time in pure darkness, which I had it next to a lamp. So I moved it. So hopefully it's better now.
Yes, because that is one thing I learned is you can't, I had my grow lights on and I left them on like all the time.
Oh.
Not good. Plants
Okay.
plants do have to sleep, especially for root growth. So yeah, the little guy needs to sleep. But
There you go. Now I know.
yeah, so plant number 1, man. Plant
Yeah.
number 1.
Well,
doing good.
Hopefully it won't
Did you
die.
name the damn thing yet?
Yeah, I guess I just decided on Mary. Yeah, that's what it's going to be, Mary.
Okay, so you can always ask me something about Mary.
There you
Right,
go.
Okay. See?
Something about Mary.
All right, so let's jump into this. First of all, the very first thing that I learned when I went out and bought my first shipment of plants,
Yeah.
Beck, and I mean, this was like no nonsense. So I got my plants, and the brokers and the growers that are there, just very abrupt, like said, you tell your clients, do not water our plants with tap water.
Ooh.
And I was like, this is pretty aggressive. So I went back again, and they said the same
Okay.
thing. They're like, are you making, and I was like, okay, so this is, and I wasn't. I was not. Because like I say, I did not know diddly about plants. So I immediately switched to watering with rainwater. And basically
Standing out there for an hour, just pouring rainwater.
Exactly. So I immediately stopped, and so should you. If you're going to get into this plant thing, take it serious. You want to be good at it. You want to enjoy it, and you want to see results of your actions from doing these extra steps. The number one thing in plant care: absolutely no tap water. Now, why is that? Because
Has a lot of crap in it.
it has crap in it.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. I mean, I really don't even like drinking the tap water here in Florida.
Sure,
So,
yeah,
let
Florida
alone your
water.
plants. The 2 main culprits in tap water: chlorine and fluoride.
Ooh.
And I do mean that they are culprits. They're bad news. Remember the Dracaena?
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm so stupid. I was so tired last week. Beck and I were running on absolutely no sleep from staying up late, getting production ready for the show, and coming in early the next day. That, dude, I was out of it last week. But anyhow, when I said Dracaena and you said John Cena,
Yeah, right.
I was like, it just hit me, John Cena. I just now got that. So sorry, but it's a cute
Hey, it's
joke.
okay.
So anyhow, Dracaena is probably one of the most popular plants in people's households. And if you look up Dracaenas, the number 1 culprit to a Dracaena is chlorine poisoning.
God.
So it's
Poisoning.
like it actually does. The plants do not tolerate it. You're going to see stress in your plant, brown edges and such. So let's get rid of that. Another thing, people, fiddle figs this year have been a absolute hit on the internet.
Fiddle
and
figs.
Fiddle figs.
I like that name.
Now, street language,
Right.
plant community,
Sure.
fiddle fig.
Fiddle
When
fig.
I go to a broker, it's not a fiddle fig, it's a lorata.
A lorata.
Okay, a lorata. Now, this, Beck, is a lorata or a fiddle fig. Okay,
Oh.
beautiful plant. These guys
Yeah.
are a bitch. They can be really, they are, man. They're such a
Great description.
They are so moody, and you got to keep them moist. This guy's used to a lot of moisture. He grows on rainforest floors. So you got to keep them moist, but the fluoride. The fluoride poisons these guys. Now, it's not that you basically water your lorata, and if you've done it once, twice, you haven't killed the plant. It's a buildup.
Right.
It's a buildup.
Over time.
Now, supposedly, it takes about 6 to 8 months. Your fiddle's doing wonderful, and all of a sudden, she gonna start dropping leaves. It's gonna start turning brown, and you're sitting there going, "We had this vibe going. What are you doing to me?" And this whole time, you've been poisoning your damn plant.
You're killing me.
You're killing me. So, you guys growing fiddle figs, the number one thing, immediately stop with tap water, because it is definitely going to not be good for your plant. The minerals and such that a lot of, check with your city water, check how much fluoride is in your tap water.
Right.
Maybe you got good tap water. I don't know.
Yeah.
Florida,
doubtful.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, don't drink this stuff. Have you seen what it does to your sink? It's just awful. So anyhow, yes, tap water is going out the window. So we don't use tap water. Randy, what do you want me to water my plants with? All right. So number one choice for watering your plants is rainwater. Now, I think Jesus has something to do with this. Okay, I think he's putting something in the water, because have you ever noticed when you mow your lawn, Beck, and it rains?
Well, I don't.
Oh, you don't have a lawn.
I don't have a lawn, so no. But please go on. This is very.
For those of us who have lawns to take care of,
of,
you mow your yard, and if it rains that night or that day or whatever, the next day the damn yard has grown like an inch. Your plants have.
Wow.
And it's the rainwater, dude.
Right.
And it is the same concept for your tropical plants. I'm not saying they grow an inch overnight.
Right.
Big difference in the looks of your plants.
Okay.
And also, here in Florida, we get that, once again, that calcification that's around like the sinks, and it's on your glasses. You ever notice, like, when you like out of your glasses, if you ever use, and that film is built up?
Right.
Same thing on your plants. If you use tap water, that crusty like film will build and stain your leaves. Don't like it.
I'm sorry, how is this water legal?
Yeah, I know. It's true. I think we're science experiments. I really do. So now, if you do collect rainwater, there's several ways of doing it. I mean, just get a bucket. If you see somewhere dripping off your eaves, anywhere that you can just get the water, do it. Storing the water, got to be careful. You got to make sure there's a lid on the container, because mosquito larvae, dude, chew your ass up. I mean, it will. They're really, really bad.
I feel like I already have enough insects in my house, just to draw more.
Right. Well, those insects you have in your house is just from uncleanliness, so that has nothing to do with water. But no, you want to make sure that you do have the water covered, because it will definitely create a lot of mosquitoes. Now, rainwater, collecting it, pain in the butt. I can't do it. I live, wherever that it's just not feasible for me to gather my rainwater. Number two, this stuff right here, it's called distilled water. All right.
That's what you gave me last week.
Yes, exactly, to water your baby. Yeah. Now, basically using distilled water, the benefit of it is you are starting with 100% water. So you don't have anything in the water that's going to conflict with the plant, the nutrition absorption, or anything. So distilled water is, your second choice.
Okay.
It's up to like $1.25, $1.50 a gallon now. I go through probably 100 gallons a week of water. So look how much money I'm saving by collecting rainwater right there.
Like, are you filling up pools with so much?
It's all these plants, brother. I got good plants. I do my thing.
You gotta feed them.
You gotta take care of them.
Thirsty
plants. All right. So, and I get this question all the time. Well, Randy, what about drinking water?
Yeah.
Bottled drinking water, it's not the same. If you read the label on it, they do add a lot of minerals and such for flavoring in the water. We don't want that. We want water. So basically, I would say, stick to the distilled. Then I also get the question. I had one lady got really mad at me, and she said, well, my house is equipped with a water filter. And she says, it takes out all that. And I said, well, ma'am, I think it takes out a lot of the schmutz, but it won't take out fluoride. Oh, yes, it will. And I was going, okay, it's on. And so I have researched this.
It's a challenge.
It is. And she did not want to understand that basically to get the fluoride out of the water, from my understanding, it does take what's called an osmosis filter, which is very expensive. I checked into them because of how much water we go through. I thought, well, let's make our own.
Right.
So it is a commitment. So basically, kind of the answer to that is no. Your filter's not going to take it out. All right. So, that's kind of a pain in the butt. But if you do that, though, using filtered, it is a good step because it pretty much does take away the chlorine in some of the schmutz. So, better than just tap. Worst case scenario, at least do this. Draw your tap water in a bucket, a pitcher, whatever it is you're going to water with, all right? 24 to 48 hours before you start watering.
Oh,
yep.
Really?
What happens is chlorine will dissipate out of the water. Actually comes out of the water. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, so at least you got rid of that, and trust me, you're going to see a big difference in your plants by just making that one. I'm not going to say it's a good idea. I'm going to say it's a necessity. It's that much of a difference in plant care. Absolutely is number one what you're watering them with. Okay, number two, huge. So remember when I told you I got all these plants and I was like, little water, a little sunshine, everybody's happy,
Good
right?
to go.
All good. Whew, wrong. When you get into different classifications of plants, let's go to your John Cena.
Yeah.
Water me, let me dry out. Let's go to your philodendrons. Water me, don't let me dry out. Keep me moist.
Okay.
Same with your calatheas. So once again, different plants, different requirements. Now, if you do not have a good, quote-unquote, track record of when you watered your plant, that already is a problem. All right, so I have people who come in and they'll show me their plant and they'll say, gee, what do you think I did wrong with it? And my first question to them is, well, when's the last time you watered? And if their response to me is like that bewildered look of, I don't know. Okay, problem one. Number two, how often do you water your plant?
Right.
And I like touching your leg, by the way.
Me too.
Their response is, well, I try to do it right there. We got problems.
Okay.
Right there.
I
tried it, So right away, there's issues with the watering. Now, I'm busy. You're busy. Why are we playing games with this? Once again, if you're going to expect your plants to do well, you've got to make this investment. And I have people who will come in here. They will drop 10, 20, 50, 60, hundreds of dollars on a single plant.
Okay.
Now, to me, that's an investment. You're making that investment into your plant collection. In commitment. Why not make a simple, on our website, this is a moisture meter, Beck. This thing is absolutely a necessity, and it is a wonderful, wonderful tool, and it takes all the guesswork out of this moisture thing. So what we're going to do here is I am going to grab this big old, look at this baby. Isn't that delicious? This is one of the most... we'll get it close on this. I'm going to put it in the middle. It looks like we're in the forest, man. There.
Right.
Okay, so you go on that side of the plant. I'll go out there. There we go. We're going to get a close-up. Okay, so this is a ZZ plant. And a ZZ this is like the father of your dwarf. Yeah. But probably one of the most popular plants that we sell. And this plant is very, very reliant upon you of not overwatering it. Whenever you start overwatering your ZZ or pretty much any plant, you're going to start seeing probably yellowing of the leaves is probably the first indicator, okay? But you don't want to go down that road. It is so hard to revive a plant that has been overwatered. So much easier to revive a plant that has been underwatered. And a lot of plants, like your Monstera delicioso and such, will actually kind of sag, which I call a dramatic plant. And that's good because that's that plant telling me, hey, dude, I need water, all right?
Hey, dude.
Yeah, so it's telling you that. The ZZ doesn't wilt. A lot of plants don't wilt, so you got to know what's going on in here. I get busy. I can't tell you the last time, that I watered a particular plant and such. So what I do is get my moisture meter. Where in the hell did it go?
Oh boy, nobody panic.
Nobody panic. We lost the moisture meter. I sat it down, but I don't know where I sat it down. And that is controlled by that little electric eye right there. And then the middle gauge there, which is a series of like red, then green for moist, and then blue for wet. All right. And then the very bottom of the meter measures the acidity or the pH level in the plant. So if you got a plant, blueberries and such, they need high levels of pH. So if you want to monitor that, this does it as well. And once again, there is no batteries for this dude. So it is just basically out of the box and you're ready to go. It works kind of like electrolysis through dissimilar metals, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, that's pretty heavy.
High tech.
All right. So let's show how we use this guy. Now, first of all, come over to the ZZ.
Yep.
All right, when you have a plant that is growing in a large pot like this, and you have a plant that is very sensitive to moisture, it can take a long time to get this plant to dry out. And the only way you are going to be able to tell what is going on is not so much, you see how dry the soil is, Beck? Can you see that? Now, I do this test after test. I'll have clients come in and I'll say, walk up to that plant and tell me if you would water. And, they stick their finger in like a read online, top inch of soil. And it's like, holy smokes. Yeah, it's definitely dry. I would definitely water that guy. So let's take a look. Is it dry or is it not?
Okay.
So we go into the plant. Now, can you see the gauge coming up? Can we show that? Okay, there we go. All right, I'll be darned. Look at that, Beck. Here we were going to water this plant, and look at that needle. It is pegged clear over on wet. So to me, it's not what's going on that upper inch of soil. It's what's going on down in the pot, with down about 5-6 inches down into the pot where the plant is retaining a lot of moisture. Now, when you have a large pot like this as well, go all the way around the plant.
You don't have the plant moist.
You literally can water half a plant. And trust me, I have done it. So the moisture meter all the way around the plant, and if I was monitoring my ZZ, I would not water this guy until it gets into just out of the moist. Let me see if you can see. Just out of the moist and into the top portion of the red. That is the only time I would water my ZZ. Okay. Now here's the part that's kind of you just got to understand. It could take 2 to 3 weeks to get that pot dried out to where you want to water again. I had a Sansevieria in a large pot. It got overwatered. We started experiencing stem rot. It just showed all the signs of being overwatered. Literally, that plant did not get watered for 6 weeks.
Wow.
It took 6 weeks to get the plant dried out. The only way I knew it was ready to go, though, this guy.
There you go.
All right? So, cheap investment. Quit playing games with your plants and get a moisture meter, because this absolutely is my number 2 game changer, using a moisture meter. Okay? So we're going to do something here.
All right.
The first 5 people, and I think there's probably 6 people watching this. So the first 5.
Well, yeah.
The first 5 people that go to the plantdaddy.pro website, that register on our website, and send me a message that says, I watched the Grow Show, we're going to mail you a moisture meter. Okay? First 5 people, you're getting a moisture meter. So just jump on the website and send me a message there. And also, real quick, this is an interesting thing. When people walk in, everybody wants to know, quote unquote, the watering schedule of their plant. They'll say, okay, so what's the schedule? That is such an open-ended answer, in the aspect of, it's totally different if this guy's sitting close to the window versus across the room. Okay? So it could literally be half the time if he's sitting over there. So there is no such thing as, a textbook for every plant.
Gotcha.
Lots to do with placement.
Right.
Lots and lots. So
many variables.
And once again, this will tell you.
Yeah.
And once you start, once you get into the vibe of, hey, this guy's being watered every 10 days because you don't need this anymore.
Right, you're going to just feel it.
Just don't move the plant. Because then you got to start all over.
Right.
All right? Okay, so let's get rid of this guy. Okay, the next thing that is a game changer is something that I fought for a long, long time, because this, and it's just my ignorance of not knowing anything about plants. Grow lights. So.
Yep. Grow lights.
Are we? Are we still on?
Yeah. We're still
okay.
on.
All right. Good. I fought him. And this is just, like I said, this is just my ignorance. I thought, grow lights, they don't really do much. I have no reason to say that. I just thought, you don't need them. Well, what I started noticing is when I would buy stock of plants, and I would go back out to my brokers the next week, or my farms, and I go back in the houses, and I look at the plants that were left over from the stock that I bought. Okay. So I bought 20 of these. I go back out from that same crop is the remainder that I purchased from. Twice as big. Just hands down a much more beautiful growing product than what mine were, exact same plants, all right?
You could see the difference.
Huge difference.
Just to compare.
Huge difference. So, all right, Randy, your analogy, you've got your care, you're using your rainwater, you're using your moisture meter, 2 elements in plants, sun and water, had to be my sunshine, okay? So I started investigating plant lights and grow lights, and I am not an expert on them. I basically just kind of jumped in this and started trying them. I started out using the what is called red-blue light technology, if you will, or factor, and it's just basically, you'll see when you shop LED lights, or LED grow lights, you get there's a pink hue. It's a combination of white LEDs and red. Then there is red and blue, and it's just red and blue lights. And then you get full spectrum, which basically, after trying the other ones, red and blue did nothing for me. Absolutely mind-blowing, too, what color temperatures of LED lights will do to a plant.
Again, never thought that.
Here's the craziest thing. Set up a Christmas display one year.
Okay.
And I had LED uplighting.
Okay.
And I put them in red. And, displays were on. I go home at night, and I shut everything off, and all of a sudden I looked at the plants, where the LEDs were, and they were fried. Literally fried, but they were fried in a pattern. And I was like,
wow.
What the hell is that, So all of a sudden, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I turned the LED lights on, my uplighting,
Right.
and I had them all set on red for Christmas. Frickin' killing my plants, man.
My God.
Absolutely.
It's like red lasers. Just like,
It is. That's exactly what it was. And I was like, okay, huge difference. So,
Okay.
the color temperature is everything on them as far as, you know, how they react, and certain plants react to certain colors and such. I played it safe. I went with full spectrum. I'm having incredible results. No tap water, moisture meter, grow lights. Dude, you are on it.
that
Now,
combo, right?
oh my God, it's absolutely a game changer. Now, look at this. Here's another thing you're going to experience with grow lights. First of all, hence the word grow light. See if you can get a close up. This is one of my babies here. This is one of my favorite plants. This is a Hoya, and I want you to look at her. Okay, so
Hoya.
this is a Crimson Queen. These are stunning plants. They're a lot of fun. They're slow growers. Do you see the pink coming out in the tendrils in this plant bag?
The first thing I noticed.
It's stunning. This is what grow lights are doing to the plants.
So it's not like a bad thing, because you think like, oh, why is there like a
it's
pigment?
basically, she does. Typically, this is kind of what she's known for, is her tendrils. She usually puts out an all albino tendril, and she tips it in pink. Stunning plant.
Wow.
Absolutely gorgeous. With the intensity of the grow lights, it is just bringing out so much color and growth. I have plants, Sansevieras. You know, Sansevieria is a very, very slow-growing plant. Under my grow lights, dude, they're growing and creating pups so much, they actually lifted some of the plants right out of the grow containers because of how much growth. And like I say, it's
amazing.
all from the grow lights. Now, another important thing, let's go back to that moisture meter.
Yeah.
If you are using grow lights, your watering schedule, you're going to have to start completely over, because a plant under a grow light is going to burn so much more water than a plant that's under grow lights. It does. I mean, a Hoya, if you were to come in and talk to me about this plant, I would tell you that she only wants to be watered about every 10 days. She's a plant that wants to be dried out again before she's watered. We water this thing like, oh my gosh, we almost water it about every 3 to 4 days, which is crazy. But those grow lights, they are drying the plants out and making the plants burn so much more energy, so they definitely consume more water. So you will have to readjust your watering schedules, okay? If you have any sort of blooming plants, it is going to just watch what it does. Just watch what it does. I had some calla lilies, and we put those under the grow lights, and I mean, it was overnight that these things were growing, creating blooms. Absolutely amazing. Now, where do we get these grow lights? I'm not going to sell them, because basically, if you go online to Amazon, you can buy grow lights they go manufacturer direct. You can buy them for just about what I can buy them wholesale.
Yeah.
So trust me, get on Amazon and shop. But when you do start shopping for your grow lights, show them Beck there it is. Okay. So if you guys can see this is the culmination of what I'm using as full spectrum. You have 3 different light temperatures in there. You've got about a 5,000, 5,500 Kelvin. Then you go down to about a 3,200, which is that creamish color. And then see those accents of red in there, Beck? Okay. So when we put all that together, it frickin' works. And it seems to work really, really well on just about all of my plants, all right? Now, be very, very careful when you first get your grow lights, because what can happen, it's just like sunshine, all right? So when people come in and they want to buy our plants, they'll say to me, now, is this an outdoor plant? Now, you will see a lot of my plants growing outside, but you can't take my plants and put them into bright direct sun.
Okay.
My plants have been grown in houses, in grow houses. They can't tolerate direct sun. The intensity, they don't have the resistance to take that. It fries them. So now, back to the Lorata, the fiddle fig, you'll see them outside all day long. All right, and
No problem.
I cleaned my lobby one day, and I put my fiddle figs in the parking lot. 2 hours. Torched them. Torched them. Totally turned the leaves black. So
Wow.
I figured out, hey, what you're preaching is really true. All right. So you're going to want to acclimate your plants to your grow lights. Now, how do we do that? You're going to start out slow. I would set up your grow lights. I would only make your plants, subject to the grow light for try 4 hours a day. Start out easy,
Right? Just
and
to
then
see
once
effects.
again the effects of it. I have found that calatheas, which is I'm going to show you a calathea here. We're gonna. I got a couple I'm going to show you when we get into the hydroponic stuff. They didn't like it. They just did not like the grow lights. It burnt them. I don't know. They just did not respond well. But that was pretty much one of the only plants that I've had trouble with so far. So I just make sure that they're away from it. The other thing is too, if you have a leaf or something that gets up inches from the light, it's going to get burnt. So make sure you have about 12 to 14 inches before the plant starts, if you can. Now that's not always possible, but if you can, and acclimate. So once we do 4 hours a week, let's bump it up to 6 the next week. Let's bump it up to 8, to where you're getting about an additional 10 to 12 hours of grow lights. You're going to see a world of difference in your plants.
Wow.
I mean, it is totally a game changer. Now, if you guys are going to jump into plants, and you're really gonna get serious about this, there is something that I think you really need to do. Find an area in your house that maybe isn't lit so well.
Okay.
That you can put either an IKEA cabinet in it, which is very popular now. That's all over the internet, is getting an IKEA cabinet and outfitting it with grow lights. I use like baker racks from Costco. The metal baker racks, which we show in a lot of our footage. What's cool about using the racks is with a very simple application of zip ties, I have my grow lights installed, and I have this.
Just attach them with zip ties like that?
Yeah, just attach them to zip ties.
Okay.
But back this little area that you've got, man, first of all, grow lights look amazing now. They don't look funky. You really don't even know that they're not just normal lights. But you've got this usable area for propagating, for growing, and it lit this dark area in your house. So now you've got this focal. So it's just kind of a win-win.
Visually, just looks.
It's
beautiful.
stunning.
Yeah.
It really, really is. And like I say, very, very useful, because if you're gonna join my world, which is hydroponic, you need that punch of light. Hydroponic plants need a little more light than regular plants, so this really, really aids to it. Plus, too, if you got a plant and he's in another portion of your house, and you think, you know what, the little guy's not looking too good. It's kind of your incubation station. You can take him, make him, give him a little bit of encouragement with the light. So I think you're really, really going to enjoy the grow lights. And like I say, set it up so it's an area that it's usable and that it's more than just a plant display, okay, for your propagation and such. Now, every once in a while, Beck, I have clients who bring their children in, their plant kids, and show me how they've been doing with their plant kids, okay? Had the most incredible experience. This stuff makes my day. I'm such an easy man. So easy. Little things just make my day. Man. But
easy like Sunday morning?
I'm sorry?
Are you easy like Sunday morning?
I'm easy all the time. Where are we going with this? Oh, back to this girl. She is a client of ours. Now, she bought a little hydro plant for me. Her name's Amanda. Let's show her a picture. Amanda, there she is.
Yeah.
She brought in this little guy. She bought this silver satin pothos for me about 6 months ago. He is growing in hydro, and I gave her little instruction pamphlet. She is so in love with this plant. Becky, it is the most healthy, happy little silver satin pothos that I've ever seen. And she's just, this is her little girl. She named her Barbara. After Barbara Streisand.
Oh, of course.
Absolutely. And basically what she was doing is she was bringing it in because she thought Barbara needed to be upsized. She thought Barbara was basically kind of root bound, and she wasn't. I don't like repotting plants or sending plants through that whole process of larger pots, whatever, unless they absolutely need it. It's very, very shocking to the plant.
Okay.
So I'm not a big fan of that. So basically what I said to Amanda was, enjoy Barbara. Let's let her intertwine into that leca and let her enjoy it before we upsize her. So Amanda, thank you. That made my day. Congratulations on Barbara.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. All right. So let's also start showing you guys some other plants here that we're about to propagate, and
I'm sorry,
we're gonna do
propagate?
that. Yeah, Beckham, a little close. There we go. It's that word, propagate, isn't
know.
it? Yeah,
It's sexy. Yeah.
It is sexy. Okay, that little propagate button. I'm going to put tape on that. You're going to be playing that thing over and over again. So, what does propagating mean? You're basically doing kind of what the sound is. You are multiplying plants off of a mother plant or a piece of an original plant. Now, that's one way of propagating. Okay, and today we're going to do some stem propagating, and I also want to explain kind of the portions of a stem so that when we're talking about the sections of a stem and how to prepare them, let's get a tight on this. So this is I believe that she's a neon pothos here. All right. And let's get tight here and show you guys, first of all, this is called the petiole.
The petiole.
The petiole. The petiole is the portion that starts on the main stem and goes out to the leaf. Okay, so that's the petiole. Okay. All right, where this connects right there, Beck, is called the node.
The node. The
node. And this is where all the action takes place, is in the node. That's where all your root activity typically comes from with a plant, is from the node area. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of a sensitive area. I'm kind of thinking it's like your inner thigh to you and I.
Good example.
All right. So we have a node. We have the petiole. Then you follow up and you have another node. So node and a node. This area is called the inner node.
The inner node.
The inner node. Gotcha. All right. And then the apicle, which is this really doesn't have an apicle, but if your vine or such is growing, there we go. All right. The end of the vine that is growing is called your apicle.
Apicle.
Is your apicle. Yeah. So those are the portions of a stem that basically I want to kind of explain. So when we go start to chop these things up, which we're going to do, you have a reference as to what I am talking to or about. Now, the goal is, now on these viners like this, you're pretty much only going to get one node, if you will, into the water. And why are we doing this? So when we water propagate, what we are wanting to have happen here is for the plant to grow roots. Now we are getting ready to go into a hydroponic environment, and the hydroponic environment requires that the plant has a set of water roots. Okay. Soil roots on a plant are not efficient in hydroponics. Soil roots are efficient in soil. Okay. They actually absorb their oxygen through like air pockets in the soil. So they're actually breathing. So when like you see stuff like vermiculite and such that are these basically, it looks like puffballs. And basically you initiate those into the soil to lighten the soil up, because all you're doing is trying to get more oxygen down to the root of the plant. Okay. All right. So the plant immediately starts wanting to grow water roots, because at that point it's survival. Now the water roots, what they do is it allows the plant to absorb oxygen through the water. Okay. And it aggressively grows the water roots because it knows more roots I grow, bigger they get, the more oxygen I can take in. All right. So that's basically what we're doing, is we are prepping these plants to go into a hydro situation. Let's look at now. This we're going to do some of this stuff today. This is just stem propagating these vines right here. But actually, let's go to a stem. So I'm going to show you right here, Beck. This is a lovely, lovely plant. This is a Monstera rapidophora testisperma. Okay, now
What a name.
And you know what's crazy? If I walked into one of my brokers and I were to say, hey, do you have a rapidophora testisperma? They would look at me like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? All right. Which honestly, I did it. I did this like 2 weeks ago just to try it.
Right.
I said, what are your rapidophoras? And she looked at me like, what? These are called minimas in kind of my broker world. And it is a split leaf monstera that vines, and this is more of like a true stem cutting than a vine cutting. And I want to look at this beautiful deliciousness going on here that looks like rice noodles, but those are look at that, absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous water roots. Now, look where they're coming from, Beck. Oh, one thing I forgot to point out on my stem guide there was on a lot of your monsteras and such. See this? See these little guys? These are called aerial roots, okay? They help kind of attach the plant. They also root. So as you can see, we have a lot of roots coming actually out of that aerial root right there, as well as, look there, can you see? There we go. See that node? That little knuckle right there? Look what's coming out of it. All of those roots. So it does work.
Wow.
Absolutely gorgeous. Now, this is probably, I'm going to guess, with this guy, I think it's probably about 5 weeks growth, maybe. I actually even put him subject to a little sunlight, which mild sunlight outside, filtered, and it really, really amped it up. But once again, your grow lights really, really help your plants when it comes to propagating and... if you're going to get a propagating, I would definitely recommend trying to get a little propagation station. So let's put this guy back in here. What's cool about this, Beck? We can prepare these guys to go into soil. And you don't have to go into hydro. You can also propagate, then take the plant and go back into soil with it again. It has to be a very light soil, though. You don't want to choke your roots. And it's so strange because once the plants come out of here, if you put them back into soil, kind of comes in the theory again that they need oxygen. It's really strange, but you got to be really, really careful from the step from water propagating into whatever component you're going into next. All right. So that is stem growing. This is vase growing or glass growing, which I'm telling you right now is really, really taking off. I prefer this. I think the presentation of glass growing is just something, and I'm going to show you more plants here in just a second that are I'm just growing in glass. And I am going to start bringing my plant accessories and my grow lines into this type growing because I'm sold on it. It's so much easier than soil growing. You don't have the pest problems that you do with soil as far as taking care of the plant. I mean, come on. At a glance, you can tell whether or not the plant needs watered. Yeah. It's just like, look at the glass. Your job is to make sure that this cylinder is filled with distilled water, absolutely distilled water. Now, you can also use rainwater in this application, okay, but no tap water, especially when you come into hydroponics. You don't want to mess with anything other than pure water. All right, now we've got this set up. We are let's say we just did some fresh cuttings. We have these guys in here. Your responsibility is to make sure that this vase remains clean.
Okay.
Typically, you're going to change the water depending on where you put it. It's usually about once a week, but you do not want to let algae grow in here. The algae is going to take all the oxygen from the plant, and it's just not going to do as well. All right. So just like anything else, look at it. If it's dirty, it needs cleaned.
Right.
Do it.
And visually, it's easy to see.
You can, and that's once again that's what's so amazing about glass growing is you can see exactly what's going on. This puts you in touch dude, with 50% of the plant that I think is mind-blowing. It is just as gorgeous as the top end of the plant. And you really, unless you vase grow or do this hydroponic stuff, the only time you really get into the roots of a plant, if you grow dirty in soil, is if you have a problem. Okay, and I just think that's kind of a shame because we're missing so much of this wonderful stuff that is going on with the glass growing. All right, so this is stem propagating. We're going to do some vine cuts and we're going to put those in water. But I want to show you, what if we take a soil plant? We're not doing a propagation where we're cutting a portion of the plant. Let's say we're taking a plant and we want to propagate that plant to turn it into a water plant or a hydro plant, but we're coming directly out of soil. So I'm going to bring this guy over. Ooh. This is one of my favorites. Now, this guy is a dwarf papyrus. And yeah, it's a gorgeous plant. It gets these tall, skinny stalks, and it gets these big, poofy tops on it. But you can actually grow this guy right in water. You can submerge the pot, so if you have a water feature or such, you can put it in it. So I knew this would be a really good candidate for either my bubbler tubes or just a hydroponic grow altogether. So when you start with a plant and you're coming out of soil and you're prepping the plant to go into propagation to get your water roots, it's kind of crazy. I have found all sorts of things. First of all, finding out and seeing the root structure on every plant is just amazing. Your philodendrons, big, thick, thick roots. Your monsteras are big, thick roots. Look at this dwarf papyrus. Wow. Okay, now see that mess right there?
Yep.
Okay, so all of that really fibrous stuff, these are the soil roots, okay? These are soil roots.
Yep.
Do you see these guys have been setting in water because when I grow them in soil, I actually leave the pots setting in water because they drink a lot of water. And look, I am starting to get a few water roots in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, here's what you got to do. This whole process, it takes a while to get some plants through the water propagating. And what you have to do is understand that you're kind of going through a grow rot situation. Grow rot situation. And that means I'm growing water roots, but a lot of times my soil roots will rot. The plant can't use them. They become ineffective, and the plant will literally start shedding off the soil roots. So you have to, with some plants, and this could even be, where I said once a week, it could even bring the cleaning process up of, every 3 to 4 days, depending on how aggressive the plant is with losing the roots. Okay, so basically what you want to do, take the plant out, kind of pull on the roots, rinse them, and you'll see that they'll start coming off. The plant's going to do what it wants to do, but just get all the debris and the nasty stuff off of the plant, because you're going to get bacteria. All right, and we don't want that.
No.
All right. Now, another cool thing is you kind of find out, I don't know if you can see this, there is a fibrous mesh in there. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that? It looks like a thin piece of paper in this guy. All right, see. There he is. Okay, there.
Yeah, I see it.
All right. Now, as you're taking apart some soil plants and you're basically trying to remove all the dirt, what I end up doing is just about cutting off the entire root ball, because if I go into a plant and I see that they're fibrous and thin, I know they're going to rot. I know they're not going to make it. So I really get aggressive and cut a lot of my soil roots off. But this is a grow plug. Now, a grow plug is basically like a little seed start. It looks like a little marshmallow.
Yeah.
They pop a seed in it, and that's how they start the grow. Sometimes they're in a hydroponic situation, but it's just an easy way to start your seeds. But when you do a water propagating and you encounter this, you have to get this stuff out of here. You do not want your roots to have any sort of dirt or anything that will cause more rotting. It holds a lot of excess moisture, and the plant just doesn't like it. So clean this guy up really well. Due diligence when you first start out, every 3 to 4 days. Get them nice and clean. Keep them clean. And then what you'll slowly see, I've got another one here that has been... Now, he has been propagating for probably... I think this guy's been in here now for only about 2 weeks. Very aggressive root grower. Look at the difference in the roots. Do you see all that white?
Yeah.
Okay. Water roots, my boy. Water roots. Look how gorgeous that is.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Now, one thing that I'm finding out right now that I am doing wrong with this is I'm growing... See how my plant sits on the bottom of my container like that? All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I love the presentation of the roots. I think the roots are just stunning. So I'm going to pick this guy up like that and elevate him somehow so that I can let those roots grow.
Yeah.
Because my long-term goal with this guy is to display him in one of my bubblers. And I want... Show that bubbler real quick, Beck. See these guys? Those are my bubblers. I want to show those roots off. So when I put this dwarf papyrus in, he's going to be located in the very bottom of the crib, and all of these white roots are going to be hanging and growing down into the tube. So the way I have him growing now, I'm kind of smashing him, and the roots are kind of growing to the side. So I'm going to correct that. But I'm accomplishing what I want to accomplish. I think this is going to be a stunning plant when I get done with it. I'm really, really excited about this. And this guy really, you know, talking about shedding roots and stuff, Beck, a lot of times you'll pull on the casing and the plant will establish a water root within the other root.
Okay.
This guy really hasn't... He really hasn't done much shedding. I mean, you know, there's really been hardly any rotting or anything. And, you know, the water roots are kind of taking over. So far, so good, man. I'm actually getting some more actual plant growth here on the side. Little stubs coming in. There we go. There he is right there. So good stuff, and I'll keep you posted on this. But there's a whole list of plants online that do grow well in water, and people will ask me, they'll say, well, are all plants, you know, able to go through water propagation? My answer is, I don't know, let's try it. You know, I do. I mean, pretty soon, Beck, I'm going to cut your feet off, and we're going to soak you in some water and see if I can get some roots out of you. All right, so let's cover a couple more. Let me show you here. I want to show you some stunning, stunning plants. This is like my number one right here.
Oh.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, does it get any more freaking beautiful than this?
No, those were...
Now, this is an anthurium, okay? I had a client that came in. He knew I was really into the hydroponic stuff. And he said, hey, Randy, he said, you know, I heard these guys do really well. Will you start some for me? Well, I had grown anthuriums in soil before, and they were okay. I wasn't real happy with them. It was mainly my fault. I wasn't giving the plant enough light. They really need a lot of light to bloom. And then I started his anthurium in hydro growing in water propagating. The frickin' thing did amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And then when I saw these roots, you know, that is just, how much more delicious does it get than that?
Right.
Now, I'm spilling it. Once again, why would I ever go back into soil with this plant? You know, once again, I'm not going against anybody who wants to grow dirty. That's your thing.
Right.
You know, I'm not against it at all. I'm just saying there is an easier way. Once again, my motto: I don't grow plants, I grow art. There's just so much more next level growing than soil growing. And let's get right back to the pest issue. which we're going to cover. I'm not going to get to it this week, but
Right.
STDs, soil terminal disorders. We're gonna talk all about that next week. You have alleviated so many of your bug issues when you do this, okay? My product line I'm coming out with, it is going to be plant slings that display glass growing. In fact, they're stunning. Absolutely stunning. And I'm so excited. We're going to start introducing my product lines in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I just want to kind of get through the basics so that I can get you guys to the place that you can start experiencing other things and enjoying plants in a different manner, because I'm telling you, it is a easier, better way to grow plants. Okay, so this guy is probably just about my favorite right now. I don't know how you can top this, but let me show you some other ones. First of all, let's also talk about maintenance, like this guy right here. All right, so he's established, he's growing well. Your job, Beck, as a plant dad, would be make sure that water level distilled is above those root lines. Once again, at a glance back, we can tell whether our plants need water or not. If the bowl is dirty or the vase is dirty, common sense, clean it out. When you do clean the vessel that the plant is in, also take the plant itself. You'll see if you have any sort of algae growth on your roots. A lot of times with just simple rinsing the roots as well, a lot of that comes right back off, and you get these really luscious white roots. You're back into your container again. Now, these guys do need to be fed, just like any other plant. You know, with your soil plants growing dirty, they have a lot of built-in fertilizers. With a hydro plant, you administer the nutrition to the plant every month. Now, the way I like to tell people to do this is be very, very careful whenever you use any sort of fertilizer or plant food. I always recommend going in at half dose. I have burnt way too many plants, and once you burn a plant, it is really, it's a long recovery to get the plant back to, decent looking condition again. So how do we do that? How do we administer food once a month to this guy? Okay, well, let me sit this guy down. And first of all, I just happen to have my own plant food. Ooh, you can't really see this, but that reflective label. Yeah. This is my brand. PlantDaddy.pro is my brand, and this is my plant food. This is Plant Daddy Jungle Juice. And Beck, depending on who you are and what you do, Jungle Juice has a lot of meanings, let me tell you, and it has been a riot. But you can't read this because of the label, but I have right here, it says right on the label, for the plants that want a party. Can you see it down there on the bottom?
Yeah.
All right, so it is official. This will make your plants go gaga. It's just a good, basic, one fluid application. We mix 1 mil. Once again, this is on the website. I think this is $10.95. It comes with your pipette. Your pipette has your markings on it. Yep, there is a 1 mil mark on there. All right, so basically to administer the plant food, we're going to take 1 mil. We're going to put it into distilled water. And you're going to use that to just add just a touch of plant food. So when your plant drops down, you have that little water level drop down.
Yeah.
Once a month, make that little touch some plant food. And if you do those little administers of, if that's a word, of plant food, it fully, gives your plant full nutrition, and it doesn't go overboard. You're taking an easy, nice approach. You're going to get wonderful results out of this. Now, you can use this on soil plants as well as hydro. It does really well with soil plants. Just please make sure that you don't already have a bunch of fertilizers in your pot and you're adding fertilizer to your fertilizer.
Right.
So once again, back it off, go easy with it, and see what kind of results. Don't expect any results out of a plant. This is a long-term thing. This is one thing I had to teach myself is patience. And that is, I did something to a plant and I thought, oh, what are you doing? Come on. I mean, you're talking 4 to 6 weeks before you really start seeing, any sort of effect of it. So when you mix your plant food now, this is real important as well. The plant food in the bottle is pretty much, there's infinite shelf life on it. When you pre-mix your plant food, don't mix a bunch of it up at one time.
Oh,
okay.
Really?
So if you're only adding a little bit at a time,
Right.
cut this recipe in half. Only make a half gallon, so it'll be half a mil to a half gallon. Keep the plant food in a dark cupboard. It is sensitive to UV light. All right, so that's only after it's mixed. Just use it when you use it, and mix up more when you need it. Just don't mix up a bunch ahead of time. So that is the plant food. All right. Now, let me show you a couple more here. Plants typically, people don't mess with outdoor plants that much. There's one plant that I think is really amazing for an outdoor plant, and it's called a croton. Crotons you see in people's yards and such. They're very colorful. I thought, I wonder if one of those would, water propagate.
Yeah.
So a lot of plants you can also just go out and hack a chunk off, and you can stick the stem in the water, and the thing will start growing roots. Oh. Okay, so now I tried this on my croton bag.
Croton, here we go.
Now this is sad. This looks like Charlie Brown's Christmas tree. But this is a mammy croton. Okay, now
Mammy Croton, I like that name.
these guys I have had such a battle with, and if plants could kick my butt, these things would come out of there and just beat me with their stalks, because I have abused these guys. And what I mean by that is I was not real good at making sure that I was cleaning them. I had really good root structure. Look at the root structure.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep,
coming in great. I would start this. I would start getting growth. Everything's doing well, and once again, get busy. Didn't clean the water and keep oxygen in that water. So important. The plant would lose all its leaves, and I would say, "Oh, that's it. I did it. I killed it." And then, sure enough, I would clean the water. I would put it back in there, and the darn thing. This is the third time now I've gotten leaves on top.
Wow.
That has started over. So don't be afraid to try any of these plants. Just chop a chunk off and put it in distilled rain, and just kind of see what happens. A lot of people, the conversation last week seemed to be fiddle figs. And fiddle figs, you can chop a chunk off and put it in water, and the plant will start rooting. I've tried that method several times. I did not have any luck at all with chopping my fiddle fig. The stems rotted for some reason. Okay,
Just because you chopped them.
because I chopped them. Yeah, and I can't understand it. The plant does extremely well. If you want to really, and I'll show these. If you want to kick-ass plant in hydro, fiddle figs are extremely aggressive root growers, and it's one of the only plants that I've ever messed with that when I went from soil into hydro, I didn't even do the water propagating.
Oh.
I literally put them right into the leca, or the hydro balls, which we're going to be going into, and took off, man. And you want to talk about a game changer as far as a way to grow a plant? I'm going to be showing all that too. I'm going to show you leaves that are created via hydroponic growing, and on the same plant, I'm going to show you leaves that were grown in soil.
Oh, just to see comparison.
The quality,
Wow.
It's crazy. They're so fully hydrated. They're so full of color, and it's so much freaking easier. Once again, here goes Randy preaching, but this is definitely a better way of growing plants. Now, a couple more things I want to show you before we're gonna start chopping some plants.
Okay.
Here is a plant that I learned a lot from. Once again, this is a jade.
A jade.
A jade. He's pretty much a succulent guy. loves to be dried out before he's watered. Now, I got my jades and I thought, oh my goodness, what a gorgeous plant to put into hydro. So I chopped up my jades, I put them into my propagations, and within about a week, my jades were... The crazy thing is, they were kind of growing, but they were rotting at the same time.
Growing and rotting.
Growing
Wow.
and rotting. And I thought, well, this isn't good. And, I'm one of those people who jump into things and try to do it before I read the directions.
Right.
So I thought, well, this didn't work, so what the hell did I do wrong? So I started researching jades. And a lot of plants are like this. A pencil stalk cactus is the same way. You have to chop your segments that you're going to propagate, and you have to leave them sit out for like 48 hours. What is happening? The plant will actually seal its stem.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really cool. It creates a protective barrier on the raw part of the stalk to keep water infestation from the stalk absorbing water and rotting. Okay?
Wow.
Kind of cool. So, once again, learn by my mistakes. What did I do? I went and I chopped my jades and let them sit out for 48 hours, put them in, success. No longer a problem there. So, once again, little research ahead of time. Just pop online, see if anybody has done it. If someone else has done it and it worked, try it. Although I did try it with my Laratas. In the comments section, if anybody has propagated fiddle figs, Laratas, and you did the old stem chop where you take a chunk and then you go ahead and go into water with it, tell me how it worked. Tell me, did you leave them set out? Did you go straight in? I've tried it 3 times. No success. Had plenty of clients who said the same thing. It just didn't work. And I'm just wondering, are we missing a step here?
Right.
Okay. So if you've done it in the comment section, hey, I'm here to learn too. We're plant daddies, Beck.
Yeah.
We're always learning.
Always
learning. Let's show you a plant that is a pain in the ass. These are stunning. They're probably one of the showiest plants you're ever gonna see. This is a Calathea rattlesnake. These are called
a Calathea.
A Calathea rattlesnake. Yes, this is probably one of the most popular. And look at this thing. I mean, it's a freaking acid trip. I mean, what a cool plant. Very showy, very stunning plant.
Look at this.
Now, it's called the prayer plant because different times of the day, you will come in and see how that leaf is straight up right there, Beck, that top leaf?
Yep.
Okay, sometimes you will come in and your plant's leaves will all be straight up, like hands in the air, praise Jesus,
wow.
Okay? And that is supposedly why they call this a prayer plant. I got my own analogy, okay? I think they call it the prayer plant because you got to pray to keep this bitch alive. This one, whoo, girl, she will drive you crazy.
So high maintenance?
It's a moisture thing. So my first 2 shipments of Calathea, dude, crash and burn. I was so frustrated. And I was like, okay, if you're going to carry a Calatheas, man, you have got to get your mojo on with your Calatheas. So, jumped in it, dude, and started researching Calatheas. This is a plant all about moisture.
Yep.
You cannot let this guy go dry. You let a Calathea go dry, it's like a tissue. It will just... The dude will just dry up. You're going to see lots of repercussions so definitely a higher level plant, and it's higher level just for the simple fact of the maintenance. Okay.
Yeah.
So, once again, that's growing dirty. That's growing in soil. Let's go to the hydroponic world with a Calathea. I have had this frickin' thing in this bowl now for probably 3 months back. I was so frustrated with my Calatheas that I just kind of threw them in here, and they do stay under grow lights, and said, to heck with you. They are frickin' stunning growing in hydroponics. it takes care of it. You know, that moisture problem? There's your moisture problem. Solved. Look at the roots. I mean, why, again, would I put my calathea back into soil? This plant is just happy. She's growing. And I'll have, you know, this plant that I freaking moisture checked my calatheas every day.
Right.
I did every day. And this, at a glance, maybe once a week, I put water, a little bit of food in this, you know, once a month, and keep her clean. Stunning. So this is one type of calathea. This is your rattlesnake. Now, let me show you another one, this pinstripe right here. Now, this pinstripe, girl, she's been through hell. I did a water propagation, went into hydro. When you go from water propagation into hydro, your plant's going to suffer. I would say probably 75% of my plants that when I go into the hydro balls, I lose the plant. So that is another thing. If you get into this stuff and you're messing around with your hydro, do not use your favorite plant. Don't. There's learning curves. This stuff is not difficult. It's just simply learning the plants and how they react. But it is a big transition when you come out of here and go into you know, your next growing method, whether it be the hydro balls, the leca, back into soil. Your plants will really go through shock, and some make it and some don't. Why would I mess with this? Look at that, man.
It's beautiful.
Absolutely incredible. So once again, the slings that we're designing will be a device that holds these and makes them on like a chain basis that you can hang and display these. But that calathea, she ain't going nowhere. I mean, I've killed her and brought her back 3 times now. So we are vase growing, and that is that. So absolutely amazing. Love the vase stuff.
So you resurrected.
I've resurrected them. Absolutely. Now let's see. Is there anything else? Oh, okay. Here's another one. This is one of my most favorite guys to propagate. Found this out from a client of ours bringing me a piece of this plant in, and I don't know if anybody has raised begonias.
I've heard of those begonias.
Several different varieties. This is a spotted begonia. Okay, really cool plant. He's a lot of fun. Now he's all limp because I cut him off. We're gonna show you a propagation and explain kind of, you know, the whole node thing and how important it is. But this is your spotted begonia, all right. And if you look at your spotted begonia, you will see this is your petiole that goes from stem to leaf. And where it connects again, guys, see the knuckle? There is your node. That is our root producing area. All right. Now, I got to get this down into a container. So when you do that, if you have a petiole that's blocking your way, look at this. See?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That ain't going to work, right?
No.
Okay. So what we do is, now, first of all, when you get into snipping your plants, I thought these were kind of pissy, to be honest with you. I thought, oh my God, I don't need little snips. That is just so, it's just so not me. Oh my God, I love my snips. I love them. I kind of feel like a hairdresser, and it just adds. I think it makes me a little more gay when I hold these. I really do, like little miniature scissors. Yeah. Okay, but we're gonna go in here. Can you see this? I wish I had some operating room, you know, like beep, beep. Okay, so we're going to come in here. We are just going to snip this guy right there. He's going to fall. Boop. Boop. Now, right there, by snipping that, has allowed me to submerge the node. Now, that's good and all. See how I have one node under there? See him? That's good, Beck. But anytime you can get 2 nodes underwater, double the chance of, you know, your rooting and such, do it. So we got another petiole on the way, right?
Yep.
All right. So let's take that guy off real quick. Now you can use scissors too. Like I say, these are on our website, but they are a lot of fun. Great gift for somebody who's doing plants because I thought, I'll never use these. I freaking constantly use my snips now. Okay. Now, if you're going to use proper etiquette, they say to sanitize the blades in between use. I'm going to be very honest with you. I haven't. I'm sorry. I just don't. But you should. I'm out on farms 2 and 3 times a week. I see thousands and thousands of clippings being created. Not one time do they sanitize. Not saying again that is the way you should do it. But don't be real freaked out about that. All right. So basically, I want to get 2 nodes in. What do? Let's go ahead and take that second petio off there. There. Shazam. We can go down into the water now. And ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 nodes under the water. Okay. When you pick your vessel for propagating in, be very aware. In other words, this has a large bowl on the bottom.
Yeah.
Looks pretty, it's cool, but this is really what counts right here, and this is a very small water reservoir. So I'm not a huge fan of this container because my water level drops really quickly because of this thin neck. I prefer something that is just more consistent. I don't know, it's just me.
Right.
But, just get a container that you can hopefully display your plant in while you're propagating. Enjoy this thing, man. I mean, they're so pretty. So here's your begonia. Let's look at a begonia now that I have had in there. These guys have been in there probably, I'm guessing, 2 weeks. Now look how happy, look how healthy, hydrated. Okay, look back. See my node? Mm-hmm. See the roots coming out?
Yep.
I got 2 nodes under there. Starting my roots. I do not do anything with my hydro plants until they get about 1 inch to 2 inches of good substantial water roots if I go into another hydro setup. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm on this glass thing. These are going to stay just like this, and I am just going to grow this as this gorgeous, gorgeous arrangement. Wow. It's just like a living flower arrangement, and it's so much easier. So much easier. So there's that really cool question. When I was chopping off all these petioles and stuff, I'm sitting there like these guys right here, and so I thought, well, here these are. What happens if I put these things in water? Am I going to create another plant? All right. Here is the answer to that. This is crazy stuff. So I put them in there, and look, I got all this crazy root growth. Look at these, Beck. Look at that.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? So they formed like this knot on the end of the petiole, and they got all these just fabulous roots, but no plant growth. So the only thing that has happened is, the leaf stayed fresh looking, but then again, it didn't. See?
Yep.
So there's really no action going on here. But, hey, you're cutting this stuff off. If you're wondering what happens when you do it, frickin' throw it in there, man. Have fun with this stuff. I put the cat in there and see what happens. Put his feet and see if we can get some roots out of your cat. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we are going to start chopping up some viners. Before we do, I'm going to grow in 3 different ways. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I just simply have not taken the time to do it, so we're going to do it with you guys. We're going to do a little test here. I'm going to set up 3 water propagations. One of them is going to be in distilled water. I've got 3 little containers. I'll show you here in just a second. So we're going to put 1 in distilled back. We're going to put 1 in rainwater. And then we're going to put 1 in distilled water with a product that we sell called Super Thrive.
Super Thrive.
Super Thrive. Now, I am thinking, it's your birthday. You ought to be doing some shots of this stuff. We'll do a little Super Thrive after the show. So this is Super Thrive. We do sell this on our website as well. And it's basically a fertilizer of some sorts. I don't really know if anybody really knows what's in it, but this old dude here on the, what the hell am I saying? He's probably my age. This dude on the bottle here has come up with this stuff. And so, like I said, I'm going to sell it. We're going to put it to the test. I've always wanted to do this. So we're going to see how much more of a root structure we get, if we get it any faster.
Right.
So we're going to pull all these containers next week and do a comparison on these guys, which I think is going to be a really, really cool.
Yeah.
All right. Now, let's go ahead and jump into... do some snips here.
Snip.
Yeah. So let's get a close up of these, Beck.
All right.
Got a mess going on here, and we're going to put our 3 containers out. Now I'm picking guys today. Basic, real simple viners. Your pothos. You can do these with your philodendrons. Anything that vines. Just try it. That's all I'm saying is just basically try any plant. If you have a node on the plant, you're probably going to stand a much better chance. I did some Rex begonias, water propagated them. There's no node on the stem. It goes right down to the root. They frickin' rotted, died, had absolutely no luck whatsoever. So not all plants work. All right, so we're going to try to do this here. So let's come in. And when you do your viners, your goal is to come off of the node about, here, let me pick it up here just a little bit. Okay, so without cutting my fingers, I'm going to come in to about a 1/2 inch past that node, okay? We're going to make a cut. And then we kind of got this. Now, you got to remember you're going to have to put this thing into a vase or a container, so be aware of your trimming. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to pop this guy off right here. So we got about a 1/2 inch on either side, okay? Your goal is to create a container. Now this one has the Super Thrive in it, and I'm going to put a little bit of trimmings in each one, and I'm going to put this guy so that he stays in my water container and keeps that node under. Now see, once again, is this a good application? Right away, my pothos is kind of wanting to pull itself out. So, be careful with the container. This I have found to be actually my best container for doing the viners like this. Look at this. That's a bubble bowl. Bubble bowls do really, really well with keeping the plant in there and keeping the nodes underwater. Plus, dude, once again, look at this. You've got this freaking gorgeous arrangement that enjoy this, set this out and enjoy the whole process of the propagating. Now, what's really cool about these Swiss cheeses here is that I have never kept my Swiss or my viners in a water or glass growing situation. These are going to be my first ones. So this is my experiment to see how well my viners are going to do in just a water grow situation. Okay, so those are going to stay in there like that. I'll just show you. Off the viner. Look, kids. Look at that. Look where it's coming from, Beck. Right in that node, buddy. Is that not cool? Amazing, cool. amazing. So from here, what'll happen is eventually the plant is going to start shooting out more vines, or a vine, when you propagate a plant like your pothos, your philodendrons. Just remember, if you take this cutting, and let's say you're propagating and you're wanting to create more pothos, and you're wanting to create your plant, this guy is only going to create or generate one vine. All right. So if you see these absolutely gorgeous full pothos, that simply means do more cuts and sticks. Okay. So if you are going into a really nice, light, fluffy soil, these things will propagate in that soil. The more sticks that you have in there, the fuller the plant is going to be. All right. If your pothos grows out and you think it looks a little thin, do some more cuttings. It's kind of like hair transplants.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like
kinda.
plug work. You know, you can just go in and fill the plant in, and it will create more vines and fill your plant in. Okay, so there is a pothos there. Let's do just a couple more of these, just real quick. I don't know if you can see this. Look at the little aerial root right there. That's your aerial. That will possibly root as well. And, you know, they don't have to go into the water right away. So let's just do a little snippety snips. These are going to be fantastic. I don't know if you saw the plant arenas and the stuff that I did last week and the hydro balls, but this is a blast. This works really, really well. Start thinking about what you want to do with your trimmings, okay? It's not like you have to do something right away because you can keep them in the glass and growing, but kind of have, you know, your end plan so you can follow along with this. Next week, I'm going to do my cuttings that are rooted enough into some hydro settings, into some leca and hydro balls to show you guys how to set that up, all right? So we've got these. I am going to be distributing these guys into my different containers. I have them marked rain, distilled, super thrive. So we're going to put these in here. And next week, let's go ahead and do this guy. This is a golden pothos. This portion that I'm cutting off right here, the inner node, once again, what's the number one question that you ask, Beck, before you buy a plant?
Again, is it how old is it?
Oh my God, son! You are getting older. You're
I
getting
am
dementia.
getting-
Can I smoke this? Remember? So that would be a question I would ask: is, hey, can I smoke this? Which I am totally joking, by the way. I told Beck last week. I said the number one question you should ask is, can I smoke this plant just in case she crashes on you and burns? It's your what is that, homage or whatever the hell the name is?
Homage,
Yeah, to your plants. Way to say goodbye, and hopefully you get a good buzz off of it. But don't smoke any plants. I was just joking. There are some that you can smoke, and Beck and I don't know anything about that.
Not at all.
So, all right. So I'm just going to real quick knock these out. Another thing that's really cool when you do your pothos, and I've not seen this done, and this actually kind of got me a little excited thinking about this, is, you know, I don't see any grows done with different varieties of pothos in the same plant. Your pothos is pretty much your number one off the shelf big box plant. I mean, it's just, if you're in plants, you have a pothos. They're so forgiving. Just don't overwater the damn thing. They're hard as hell to get back. But I have never seen a culmination of like a neon pothos, a golden pothos, a queen marble, all in the same container growing. Oh my God, I think that would be absolutely gorgeous. So we might have to just do that. I'm sorry if you're not seeing this here, but all I'm doing is repeating myself over and over. Simply cut. And I hope you guys are doing this at home, because I'm telling you, it's a lot of fun. It's really cool. This whole plant thing. Oh, look, we got a little Y formation there going on. All right, enough. Okay, now look at this. Here's another way of propagating that I think is pretty cool. That has actually come in really handy for me when I'm dealing with smaller guys like this. Okay, look at this. Okay. This, we're going to be selling this kit. It'll be on the website next week. It's absolutely a no-brainer. Simple setup. Okay, so this is a block of Oasis. And these are little test tubes. We're going to be selling this setup. It's a little propagation kit. This is going to retail for about $10. And like I said, it'll be on the website next week. You get a block of foam. You get 12 of your little tubes. And what is so cool about this is it takes very little water, Beck, to sustain the plant, but you also got to be diligent. I just lost my hearing in my ears here. I don't know what happened, but anyhow. Okay. You got to be diligent on keeping water in the tubes. So here is my node, and here is my tube.
Okay.
As you can see how it fits in there?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that holds that node really, really well in there, and I like that. And it takes very little water to fill that up. So another thing cool about this is when you go to fill this, look at this guy.
The green elephant.
Is that masculine or what, man? I'll tell you. If I don't get dates with this, I don't know what I'm going to get dates with. I have a green elephant watering can. I wish I sold these, but I don't. Here's what's cool. Get yourself a little water. See that little test tube?
Yeah.
See how I poured that in there? Look what happens if I overflow that tube. Did you see that? Watch. This is Oasis. This is meant for absorbing. So if I go, oops, missed, the block absorbs the water, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Okay? So load this up with your smaller trimmings, and you want to check your water propagations in tubes at least every other day. This stuff will dry out on you in no time at all. Now, here are some crazy, crazy silver satin pothos that I put in here. These things went nuts. If you look, they grew off of basically the aerial root and grew themselves right out of the test tube.
Wow.
All right. So this stuff does all sorts of funky stuff. So a lot of fun. But this is a great setup. Great for the kids, you know?
Yeah.
And you feel like a mad scientist when you're doing this. You know, if people walk in your house and they see this going on,
Yeah.
they're going to be like, damn, that dude is serious. He is serious about plants. So easy setup. These will be available soon and a lot of fun. Okay. So what we're going to do then is basically follow up with you guys next week and figure out what we're going to do with the plants that we have growing in the hydro, as far as how we're going to administer them and such. And other than that, Beck, I think we are just about done with our chopping.
Okay.
Today.
Well, this is very informative.
What I would really like is, like I say, you guys tell me what it is that you want us to cover here. All right. I'm going to introduce you into my world as far as growing plants, and my whole goal is easier.
Yeah.
Is to, definitely easier plant care, because if it's easier, you're going to enjoy it more. The product is better. It's a win-win situation.
Less frustrating.
And what I am finding out is that hydroponic is definitely my choice of growing. And like I said, you're going to see my product lines, my bubblers and such, that are coming out, that is going to be all about the vase growing and stuff. And I am just checking my topic list here real quick to make sure that I have covered everything today, because I think we are just about done. Get your rain barrel set up. Get your moisture meter on the way. If you do not have grow lights, start with a small one. They make really, really cool tabletop units. And just do one plant. I mean, these things are cheap. They start on around $15 for a grow light.
That's pretty good.
And if it is good, then start making the investments. Set up that propagation station. I think you're going to enjoy it. And I'm just checking my list here real quick.
I like that name, Propagation Station.
Propagation Station. Isn't that cool? And I use mine constantly. Like I say, it's it's just one of those things that once you have it, you're going to find out. You're going to start throwing everything into a situation like this to see what happens. So, but overall, I think we are done. I'm sorry, my prompter went crazy on me here. Actually, it was my fault. I dropped it. So, okay, so that's it. Basically, any questions from you, Mister, on growing?
No, just gotta.
You're doing good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna start you out. You're taking home a hydro plant, by the way.
What?
You're gonna take home one of these. You're gonna basically get a Rapidophora to take home with you.
You sure I'm ready for that? I mean,
dude, are you ready?
1 week with this plant.
You're my plant son, boy. You're my plant son. Of course you are ready for that.
Okay.
So we are going to get you onto that Beck. You're going to put that guy right by your window so he gets decent light.
Okay, so good amount of light.
and you're going to keep us posted because basically I got to make you a plant daddy, dude.
I know.
What if I get hit by a bus and there's nobody, to take the show over, and I gotta deal with this.
Yeah.
Went through my list. We covered everything. So let's do what's going to go on next week. This is what I want. I want to hear from you guys. What you want me to talk about. All right. Second of all,
topics.
Start getting an idea as to what you're going to do with the propagations that we just set up. Okay. Third, I've got to cover it because, like I say, if you're growing dirty, you are going to deal with this, and that is STDs, soil terminal disorders, and how I basically treat those. And it's I sound like a doctor. Early detection. That's what it's all about, because basically you will lose your plant and all the other plants around it. Got to tell this real quick. I have actually had people come in, and this is me. This is just, once again, for just simply lack of knowledge. I've actually had people come in and say, it's kind of cool. I've got these white things, and they're all over my plant, and they're kind of...
These white things.
These white things are mealybugs. Dude.
Oh.
Disgusting. They're disgusting. We're going to show them.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to tell you how to treat them. But
okay.
There you go. It's just somebody who just... I didn't know what the hell they were either.
Right.
But I sure found out you have to treat them. Not only do they infect the plant, they infect the area around the plant. Wow. So the first thing you got to do is get them out of there, and you've got to disinfect. You want to disinfect if you're in a cabinet, grow it, alcohol, clean the area. God. Okay? So that basically, my friend, is it for today's show. I want to wish you a happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for being here and doing this with me.
It's a great time.
Most of all is thank you guys. I really, really appreciate this opportunity. And sign up on the website. Please follow our socials. We're just now kind of getting this thing. We got, we're not perfect. We know that.
Yeah.
But, I want to be here for you. Let's all jump in this and have a great day and grow beautiful, everyone. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Catch you next week. Bye.